The goal of this study has been introducing you to anxiety and how we don't want to be afraid of anxiety. We want to live with it, want to welcome it, accept it. And then that's the main thing. We want to learn that anxiety is a normal part of our lives. It helps us. So when it happens, we go, thank you so much, brain, for trying to keep me alive and safe. I'm so appreciative of you. Then, and then I talked about, I'm just reminding you, so the two major ways of looking at it. One is a physiological thing, and at its base, that's what it is. It's base, it's physiological. Your brain saying, am I in danger? Am I in danger? But you also can have a similar sensation, chemicals that are released based on beliefs that you have, and that's a psychological thing. I believe there's a bear in the room, and then my brain sends out chemicals. So based on physiological, I heard a siren, my senses pick up something, or a belief system. Both can cause anxiety. In both instances, you still decide whether or not there really is a threat. Oh, there's an ambulance. Okay, I'm not in danger. Go back to focusing. There's a bear in the room. Is there? Nope, don't see one. Go back to where I was. In both instances, the rational part of us, we call the adult ego state, decides to get back refocused. That's the idea, and that's the ideal. Instead of going, I can't feel it, I can't feel it, I go, oh, here it comes, here it comes, here. And that develops anxiety disorders. And that's how people have panic attacks, because you become afraid of the sensation of anxiety, which, again, you just don't need to be. You don't need to be. So we don't want to be afraid of anxiety. Yeah, it's going to happen. Sometimes my senses are going to pick up things that tell my brain to send out chemicals. I get to decide, am I really in danger? Sometimes subconscious beliefs will tell my brain to send out signals. I get to decide, am I really in danger? No, I'm not. Well, David, what if the chemicals already started? Remember, they're in your system. If they're small amounts, they'll flush out pretty quickly. Your body just absorbs them, gets rid of them. If it's a whole lot of adrenaline, a lot of epinephrine, it's going to take some time. Sometimes epinephrine, anxiety, adrenaline can get kind of stuck in your muscles. And I found very therapeutic are massages. It rubs that stuff out, and it really does work. I mean, it just all of a sudden, like, oh my goodness, like there's almost a kill switch on it. We talked at two different ways to relieve it. One is physiological, like massages, exercise, eating healthy, sleep. Those things help. They help the adrenaline come and go, come and go. They don't help stopping the adrenaline. We don't want to stop the adrenaline. We don't want to stop anxiety. They just help anxiety to come and go. Come, yep, normal part of life. Yep. That's physiological. That's on your handout. Then we talked about beliefs. The beliefs can also help us come and go. And that is, I start going, is this a true belief or false belief? If it's a false belief, I'm going to negate it and go, that's false. There's no bear. There's no monster in the closet. I'm not about to be fired. She's not about to leave me. No, I'm not that sick. I'm just getting scared for no reason. We attack false beliefs over and over and over and go, no, the true belief. No, it's not true that everyone can't be trusted. Certain people can't be trusted. And the reason why I'm struggling with that is because so-and-so betrayed my trust, and now I'm scared to trust again. And so when you negate that false things and they replace it with true beliefs, then that internal radar stops going off so much. And eventually just stops going off. You go, I used to really struggle with that. How about that? So there are physiological things you can do to help anxiety come and go. Then there are belief things, psychological things you do to help it come and go. But that's the goal. They just come and they go, like waves of the ocean. And then we move toward kind of excursus, a little side essay, which helps me think about it as well. And that was using transactional analysis to think about the parent ego state, the adult ego state, and the child ego state. I did this because many people, maybe several in this room, maybe not, those listening, I know a lot of people listen online, you might have struggled from traumatic childhood or maybe youth, whatever it is. At some level, your child did not get the nourishment that he or she was supposed to receive. And so you go through life a bit crippled, maimed, scarred, wounded. So we call it the wounded child. So instead of having a healthy, adaptive child who's able to see life and feel sad, then get over it, grieve and get over it, feel angrier, then get over it, feel joy, then get over that, then happy, just normal flows of emotions that all children, you don't have to teach children to have emotions. They come out of the womb, wah, 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 and then calm and then happy. They just are. And it's wonderful. They're just emotional states. We have to learn to suppress them, feel shame about them, don't do them well. And when that happens, that wounded child does not, then that wounded child sees the world a very particular way. Instead of coming into a new situation, a new people, and going, where's the gym? Where's the playground? Where's my new friend to play with at McDonald's? As my children walking, go find some friends. And they go find some friends. You find, yep, I met a friend. What was her name? I don't know. What'd you do? We played house. Good. So Marjorie would see the world as exciting and possible. What if I have a new friend? What if I have tons of fun? And then after that, there's ice cream and there's this. It's just, when you're a wounded child, you don't see the world that way. It's dangerous. It's scary. You're looking to be hurt. You're not really trustful of people. You're expecting to be betrayed. You're expecting to fail or be disappointed. And on a whole bunch of fundamental beliefs not every wounded child has, but that are very common. And you typically know these beliefs are false or irrational because they're exaggerated. All people can't be trusted. Everyone will hurt me. Everyone's a liar. All men are dogs. Don't get close to people, they'll hurt you. Or it's all or nothing. I'm successful or I'm a failure. That kind of, that's false. Nonsense. It's false, false, false. And there's a bunch of signs that a belief is irrational. But since I didn't go into all those, we're not going all those to review. And so the wounded child, one way of thinking about the wounded child is that he or she goes through life seeing life a certain way. And that's where I've got to so far. Does that make sense? That sounds familiar? We're almost on the same last page of the handout. Today might be our last day on this. We'll see at the end. So then what I'm talking about last time is the very important fact that wounded children are supposed to get their needs met. And if you don't get your needs met, it affects you in various ways. And then I said, so now I'm going to look on Roman, we'll see, my notes are a little different now. I'm looking at my Roman numeral 6, and maybe yours 5. I don't. They keep seeking to get childhood needs fulfilled by other people. Do you see that? If you're on the new version of the handouts, which is on sermon notes on the digital version, it's the top of page 8. Roman numeral 6 for me. So this is what happens. The wounded child, again, can look different, act a little different. So I don't fit all those categories. That's fine. Maybe you fit none of them. That's even better. Praise God. But if you fit some of them, this is some of the characteristics of a wounded child. Because they didn't get all their needs met, they continue to attempt to get their unmet childhood needs fulfilled by other, I'll call them grown-ups, typically in unhealthy ways. We call those maladaptive coping strategies in psychology. So they typically want to do it in ways that aren't very healthy, which makes them treat other people, almost everybody else typically, as a parent, and the parent at ego state. So let me pause a bit because I want you to really set this sink in. Wounded children typically stay in the child ego state. If you are a more wounded child, it means in this very moment, right now, you're in a child ego state. You feel vulnerable, maybe a little anxious, a little nervous, maybe shame, a little guilt. You probably walked into the building feeling that way. And so when you see other people, you do not come at them as adult to adult. You come at them as a child to a parent. And you're so hoping they don't fuss at you, and you're hoping they encourage you. But if they do encourage you, you don't want to hear it, you'll dismiss it, but you do want to hear it. Because you want to know sure they're safe. Everyone's a potential bear in the room, as it were, typically. And so you see people as parents. Now you might say, no, I don't, David. I didn't say you think about it. If you're a wounded child, yes, you do. You see the world that way. Everybody's a potential parent. Which means every single time a person says something slightly a little offensive or hurt feelings, it hurts your feelings. Because the child because in the moment, you were not talking as an adult. You weren't in your adult ego state going, what you just said about me is false. I dismiss it. No, you internalized it. There must be something wrong with me. And so what happens when wounded children is they see grown-ups as parents, mama or daddies, or another caretaker. And that's what happens is they go throughout their life trying to get those childhood needs met by pretend parents. Will you be my daddy? Will you be my mama? Now, thus, they can come across as antisocial, not maybe technically like antisocial personality, which is possible. That's psychopathy and sociopathy. But the big of antisocial, they're mad at me. They don't like me. Every time I talk to him, he's mad at me. They don't like me. So, you come across like the black sheep, we call it. That's your script. I know people, I know kids, youth, and adults just like this. And so they come across as, man, they're just something, they're always like off on their own and distant. Because deep inside, their child seeing as your parent, they're mad at me. They don't like me. They can come across as needy. Children are very needy, and they should be. You come across that way. You come across, please laugh at me. Please laugh at me. Whatever I say, please laugh. Please smile. Please nurture me. Please tell me I'm okay. Please, please, please. Especially when I've done nothing wrong, I'm going to say I'm sorry until my nose bleeds, just so I can hear you say, it's okay. I like you. You're safe. You're acceptable. I love you. You're lovable. You're valuable. They go, I don't believe it, but it feels good to hear it. Feels good to hear it. That's needy. Children are needy. Children are needy. I'm not ashamed of the child being needy. They are needy. They're supposed to be. But ideally healthy people are not living in a child ego state all the time. You understand the difference? My child gets bored and he wants to watch a movie or stop preaching or stop studying and reading a book for 30 hours a day or studying Greek. And I go, I'm bored because my child's needy. He wants to go play for a second. Well, that's what he's supposed to do. But as a healthy individual, I'm supposed to decide in my adult ego state when he comes out and gets what he needs or not. The wounded child doesn't do that. The wounded child makes almost all the decisions in life. And he or she is needy, 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 needy. And they can be very clingy. And people can come across that way. In fact, they can frustrate other people because of their neediness, especially people in the parent ego state, because they don't follow their advice. I need so much. And the parent, the literal, not the biological parent, but a parent at ego state, which could be anybody, anytime. Here's what you should do. Here's what you need to do. And they go, They do what they want to do anyway. Then the parent goes, why even ask my opinion? A lot of times the child didn't ask your opinion. They were just acting needy, and you're being a parent, and you think it's your job to fix them. Now they're mad at you because they told you what to do, because they're in their child state. Children don't want to be told what to do. And then you're mad at them because they didn't listen to your advice. I know many couples this way. It's a sick dance. Wounded children love rescuers. A rescuer is a script when you're in the nurturing parent role all the time. They're the mother hens, we call them. The father, usually it's a mother hen. Children love them. Addicts love them. Needy, wounded children love rescuers. And rescuers love them. They'll say they don't. Yes, they do. It feels so good because why in this moment? If you'll let me rescue you, and you will because you love the attention you get, you're not going to change your ways, because if you changed your ways, deep inside you're terrified you wouldn't receive any more attention from me. So you're not going to change your ways, but it feels good when you get it. It feels good when you get the attention this way. That's what wounded children do. They're convinced because of their woundedness that to get the love and affection they need, they have to act out in unhealthy ways. That's on the handout, unhealthy ways. I've got to keep doing this sick dance so that you'll keep giving me validation and attention. Healthy people go, no, I don't. But they're not healthy. They're wounded. They're wounded. But rescuers love them. I know many people, especially in the church, rescuers are called superstars. The average church treats rescuers like super Christians. They're just so sweet. They're so hospitable. I tell you, if you need anything at all, they'll drop anything they're doing. Every time I hear that, I think Bad Boundaries rescuer. That's not for Jesus. You're doing it for emotional needs to get met. Should Christians be serving? Yes. Should they care? Yeah. Should they love people? Yes. Should they try their best to help people when it's appropriate to boundaries? Yeah, sure. But that's not what rescuers do. Rescuers find identity in being the people. That's another story. I'm not doing transaction analysis. Rescuers find their identity in being the person who rescues. Rescues you from feeling negative emotions and experiencing negative consequences. And wounded children love them. They love them. Healthy adults, adult ego states, they make their child, the wounded child, anxious. They make the child anxious because the child's scared that such a person won't seek to incessantly validate their fears and wounds. That is, when a wounded child comes into a normal, healthy adult, it makes them nervous. I don't know what to do with them. They're not going to rescue me. They're not going to fuss at me. And they won't play with me because they're a child. What are they going to do? They're going to tell me nothing. Or if I ask them advice, they're going to be wise. And I don't want to get... They make them anxious. This really, really hit me when I was in my PhD. It really hit me. That's when I started doing a lot more of my counseling myself. I was around some friends, some fellow PhD students, and I liked them a lot. I met a couple of guys, uh, in particular, just the good guys, good sense of humor. We're all fellow nerds. He was a theology nerd at the time. I was a New Testament nerd, and but when I'd get around him and some other guys, my anxiety went up every single time. And I used to reflect. I thought, okay, why is that? Do I think I have to have all the answers? I thought, I don't think so. I thought, no, I don't think. I mean, I kept going on, and then it dawned on me hard. They don't need me. They don't need me at all. And it comes across. They just want to get to know me and hang out. They don't need me at all. I don't need counseling. They don't need therapy. They don't need theological advice. They don't need Bible. They don't need parenting advice, wisdom, adult. They don't need me at all. And man, my anxiety. And that was the first time in my life it hit me so hard. And I mean, it hit me hard. And then I look back on my life of all the people I've been close to. And most of them needed me. Now, why is that? That's because when my mom needed me because of her stuff, I felt the most safe. So I felt the least amount of anxiety when I was coming to someone's rescue. And so I didn't tell them. I think I told them one guy I think I told them afterward when it finally started clarifying for me. But it changed me. And once I start finding out what's going on in my life, I might be different. But as soon as I find out what's going on in me, I want to fix it. I don't want to be stuck in this prison forever. And so I remember thinking, God, I don't want to hang out with them much anymore, because when it really hit me, then I got more nervous. And I go, no, they're going to be my therapy. They don't know it, but they are, because I'm going to hang out with them more. And when I get around, I'm going to have deep breathing. I'm going to tell my 12 true beliefs. They don't need me, and that's okay. Who is David then if I don't? What if I can just have a self? Well, then who am I? I'm just a guy who hangs out and makes jokes, and we talk about life and children and raising. Yeah, I'm not used to that. I'm not used to that. And so they were healthy for me. So my child got anxious at their adult ego state, because in that moment, they didn't need me. I could be the rescuer. And then also my child ego state was anxious, because when I felt nervous in my anxiety, they didn't validate me, because they're adults. They don't come around and say, David, thank you so much for being a good, solid adult ego friend. They never once said that, John. I'm still mad about, no, I don't know. But that was my problem, right? It's all my problem. I don't want to go to them and, your problem is you don't. And I remember a couple times through the years, I had friends, I would kind of fuss at them about not being there more often, all this stuff. I was channeling my mom. And later on, when I found out that's what I was going, I apologized. This guy in particular, his name was Matt. I was on Facebook. It was years later. I found him. I said, I just want to apologize. I wasn't a very good friend. I used to do this. And I mean, I wasn't mean, but I was needy. And I said, I owned it. And I apologized. Like, I don't care. I know he wouldn't care, but I did. That's just woundedness. I wasn't a dirty, rotten sinner. I was wounded. I was a scared child. And sometimes I still am. Very much. Sometimes. So in healing, we say to our child, this is very important. This is good old therapy work. That's what I'm doing in this study, is an overview. When it goes one-on-one, we can do more stuff. But this is exactly what I say to myself. These are true beliefs to your child. If I'm a wounded child, I say, because this is what people say. They go, yeah, but I need it from them. I need it from him. I need it. I need it from her. No, you don't. I need my boss to be nice to me. No, you don't. I need him to make sure. No, you don't. When you said the word I need, I'd stop. You needed that back then from mom or dad or caretaker X. That's what you needed back then. Yes, you did need it back then. You did. You did. And frankly, you deserved to have it, but you didn't get it. I don't need that from this person right now, because he's not mom and he's not dad. She's not mom and she's not dad. I want it from this person. Yeah, I do. And if I don't get it, I'll be okay. I can handle it or let it go. I'll get what I need now from myself, from Jesus, and from healthy relationships. Those three matter. They're not the same. They matter very much. It's okay if I don't get what I want. I can, if I can't get it, I'll handle it, I'll process it, or I'll just let it go because, like, it's not that big a deal anyway. But what about the things I do need, David? I do need validation. I do need support. I didn't hear those things. I will get those things from three areas. One is myself. I will trigger my own nurturing parent to say, David, way to go. I love you. I'm proud of you. You're doing a good job. Doing the best. Listen, David, you've been through so much. Your brain is screwed up. You're hardwired for post-traumatic stress disorder. It's called, it's chronic. So this is a serious condition. Your brain's not just right. And the fact that that's the true and you're still doing X, Y, Z, this is good. Look at how far you've come. Look at this. You're doing a good job. So those are things I'm saying to myself, like I would talk to my own son and my own daughter. Secondly, I go back to course, not necessarily in this order, but I do these things. What would Jesus say about me? That's why I wrote that declaration. I had all these quotes matter. I say about myself what? God. I will think about myself what? God thinks about me. You don't have to memorize that. It's not scripture, but it's true. I want to think what God thinks about me. And he does not think those bad things that I say about myself. Instead, what he thinks are positive, loving things. He says, David, I love you. I'm proud of you. I don't be proud of everything you do, but I love you and you're mine. I love you so much I died on the cross for you. So please say nurturing things to yourself. Please. And the third place, and I go on for a while about that, scripture verses and so forth, they're not a kill switch, but they're true statements. Everyone can't be trusted. Well, that's false, but I know Jesus can be trusted. So, for example, when my wounded child acts up, I could tell you a lot of examples, but I always try to be transparent in the study. That's as much as I can appropriately. One of my, I don't get bogged down. Will that be helpful? I don't know. Do I move on? Bonnie's like, I don't know. Leave me alone, David. I'll come back later on if you want. So my point is, there are ways to counter these beliefs. You encourage your child with true beliefs from Jesus. So if you doubt, if you have a problem with trusting that the future is going to be secure, you answer, all right, it won't be secure, but God is secure. Because God is secure, Matthew 6:33, right? I don't need to worry about today. He's got, or tomorrow. He's got today. It's enough. In fact, what you need to do, David, is seek His kingdom first. Remember this, Bible readers, and His righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. So just focus on Him and let Him deal with how long you live, how much money you have, and where you live. Let Him deal with that. Either He's a liar, or He's telling the truth. And which one is it? I mean, that's it. Let's be honest. That's what it is. My mom used to say all the time we were going through real hard times. She used to say, either he's a liar or not. And if he's a fake God, well, let's move on. Like she used to say, either he's God or he's not. I remember when you're broke and depressed and grieving and down and out and you're at rock bottom, you get some real hardcore basic theology that I like. He's either God or he's not. You know, all the fluff is gone. Who gives a rip? You're either going to trust him or not. Which one is it? I mean, if he is, then then trust him. If he's not, then what are you doing? Why even waste your time with Christianity? I mean, why do anything? I just commit suicide. I mean, come on. Life is worthless then. He's God. So those are the kind of things I tell. Those are truth beliefs based on what Jesus has said in Scripture and, of course, then other biblical authors have said. The third place we're supposed to get it from are healthy relationships. We're supposed to. We're supposed to have a wounded child receive nutrients from other people in appropriate ways. And this is scary. The first one's pretty scary for most people because they don't know how to say those things. I'll ask them, like in counseling, can you say the words, I love you to yourself? And they'll go, like, a lot of times that's scary enough. The second one's usually not too bad for Christians because usually that's what we've done as kind of a Band-Aid. We go straight to Bible verses all the time, which can be very, very good and effective, but oftentimes not used, I think, very well. It's the third one that can be very, very scary for people. Because then how do I do that? Then I actually have to meet a person and tell them what my needs are from my childhood, and I'm still struggling with that. And would they ever be interested in helping encourage me sometime and keep me accountable to these things? Oh, that's good. I got to tell them that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Some of you don't have friends like that, and I understand. That's why you go to counselors. That's why you go to staff therapy. You go to clergy. Ideally, you find at least one trusted Christian friend, as I've said for years and years, at least one trusted Christian friend, and say, man, this is my struggle, or here's all my struggles. Here's where I'm at. And now, you're not my therapist friend. You're not my parent. And I don't want to treat you as a parent. But, but it would mean so much to me if I could feel safety around you to not be okay all the time, and to tell you sometimes that I'm really struggling, and to tell you sometimes that though I've gotten better, sometimes I'm not where I want to be, and I'd like for your prayer for this on me, and strength, and just encouragement. That'd mean a lot to me. You don't have to. I don't expect this of you. You'll still be my friend if you say no to everything I just said. Um, but it means something. It means a lot to me, and I want to be that for you too. Um, that's it. In fact, how can I help you? What can I do for you? You have found a good, solid Christian friend. If someone goes, "Thank you for sharing. I love you," and the answer is yes, 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 and yes, what can I do for you? With no judgment, nothing. Then you found a solid Christian friend. Keep that one. Keep that one. I thought about doing a study I might do this anyway. I might do an email or a blog or something that says how to be a good Christian listener, a good Christian friend. Um, I'm going to pause there because I cannot overemphasize, well, all this matters, but I want to go away. But any question or comments about this so far? About the idea that your wounded child will see people instinctively, subconsciously, as a parent figure from whom you need to get these needs met that you were supposed to have gotten met in childhood, but now you think they're supposed to get it to you right now, but they're not. And these are ways to deal with that, and some patterns we have. Yes, ma'am. So I'm listening. I'm getting some more tape. So your mom didn't hug you, and so now you find yourself getting a lot of hugs from people or wanting hugs. Uh huh. Okay. Is that just your question, or you just telling me that's where you're at? Is it leftover? Probably so. Probably so. Children are supposed to receive hugs. They're just supposed to. That's a sign of love, nurturing. Yeah. Is it a good thing? It's a good thing to want it. So then the key on that particular instance, and I know we've chatted some. It's a healthy need for people to be loved. It was very healthy when you're a child. It's still healthy now when your child wants it and needs it right now. The difference is, ideally, we want our adult ego state to decide what behavior choices we make. So every time you find yourself, anybody finds themselves compulsively seeking to hug, got to hug, got to hug, got to hug, or two, I'm mad deep inside or a little hurt that they didn't hug me. That's wounded child. We need to address our wounded child so that she, in your case, would not be making decisions for you. If that's what I would say. Otherwise, here what would happen. Say you come to church and I got to make it. Got to make it to Sunday. I'm hug depletion. I'm gonna make it to Sunday. I'm gonna give me 53 hugs. And when I leave, I go, I feel better until Monday morning. And I go, if I can just make it to Sunday, if I can just make it. Matter of fact, I'm going to put out a booth at Walmart that says free hugs. I just need them. That's exaggerated. But people can do things like that at work. They're just in a constant needy state. And I need you, mom and daddy, whoever, Bob, Bill, Sue, to come be my parent. The answer is no, you don't. Your child needed that. So what you need to do is grieve and go to counseling to grieve that loss. Well, then, David, can I never ask for a hug? No, I'm not saying that. But the adult would decide it. The adult would decide it. So, for example, I think that's completely appropriate. I think it's appropriate. I think it's okay to ask friends sometimes. Sometimes, can I just get a hug? They're going, yeah. But you just decide how much of that's going to be medicine for you versus I gotta have it. There's just a subtle difference. There's a subtle difference. There are certain encouragements that part my wound. Okay, so my wounded child. There's certain things I wish every person would say to me before they say anything, but they don't know that. I'm not gonna tell you. And it would make my anxiety much less the rest of my life if everybody just said it. Mm-mm. But I won't tell them. Now, why is that? Because my child really wants it. My adult doesn't need that. So I tell my child, no, we'll be okay. We can handle that. Even if they don't say that, even if they act the way that you're afraid of, we'll handle that too. Now, I've told some of my friends, no, I think I told Lane, that's it. But the point is, that's an example. My child from woundedness would love to hear those things. But I'm not, would you? Okay, here's the deal. For the rest of your life, as long as you know me, will you start every email and text and phone conversation? Now, you, Linda, so you might go, absolutely. I'm honored that you told me. Now, certain people I might do that because, frankly, in a loving one-on-one, particularly like my wife or the men, ideally they would love me so much and feel safe so much to say, David, I want to do that for you. So as you heal and you kind of get your tank full, over time, I know you won't need it as much. That's completely healthy, and that's what people do in support groups, therapy groups, one-on-one, things like that. And that I think that's completely healthy and appropriate. That's my opinion. It's different from every Sunday or every random stranger. I'm just compelled to. Does that make sense? A little bit. I'm trying to make sense, but so that's it. My wife loves hugs. Physical touch is her chief love language. That or chocolate. One, I don't. Diet Coke. No, I mean that and the words of affirmation. So she'll say, "I need a hug," and she'll say, "No, you don't. Would you like a hug?" Yes. Okay. You don't need one. You think you need one, but you don't need one because you're not dying. This is not survival. This isn't the survivor. This is you just want a hug. I'll give you a hug. But for a long time, she has that compulsion. I need it. I need it. Like if I'm on a no, you want a hug. Okay. Anyway, and that's my view. You might have people might have different views. That's my view, and that's a good question. So is it wrong to hug people? No, it's not wrong to hug people. Is it wrong to want it? No, it's not wrong to no. There's nothing sinful or unhealthy about it. My encouragement is to think about who's making the decision. In that moment, is the wounded child bursting out, or is the adult going, "Yeah, I'll do that now because that's appropriate. I'll get a few hugs. That's normal. I'm not getting 23 hugs a day before I leave. I need to hug a tree or something. Walking hug a tree. Good. Anything else? Good question. Yes, ma'am. So about the person who has your arm's length that never wants to hug and can't do anything for them. You don't do anything for them. Yeah, you don't unless. So my view is you don't do anything for them unless they're in danger. Then I do something for them, even if they don't want it. Because I believe we have the Christian moral duty that if they're a danger to themselves or someone else, I will intercede against their will. Yes, I will. Yep, I'll check them in the hospital, the psych ward, and a heartbeat. They'll be so mad. I'm okay with that. I'd rather have a dead friend, an angry friend, than visit their funeral. Period. All day long. At Judgment Day, I'm fine with that. They can be mad the rest of their life. I go, I'm okay, because you're wrong. You're an addict. You're this. You're this. But outside of that, if it's normal things like they're making unwise choices, or I tell people often, I wouldn't live that way. But if you want to, okay. And I'm not being flippant. I have some good friends whose children make really bad choices, and it breaks their hearts. It breaks our hearts to see kids do things that are bad. They're like, when they come to the rescue, the kids are, I'll encourage them. It's just that they're adults now, and adults live with consequences. And just like you did, just like I do, and that's how God designed reality. We have to live with consequences. And if you come to the rescue all the time, you are robbing them of the chance to grow by consequences. And God can use consequences all the time to go, I don't like the way this feels or this is going. But if they're a danger to themselves or the people, I do come to the rescue against their will. Yeah. What if you don't intervene and something happens horrible? Yeah, and you feel responsible. Well, it's one thing to be responsible, another thing to feel responsible. Oh, great. Why would you not be responsible? For any number of reasons. Because maybe because in Christianity, I'm trying to get bogged down. From me, not you. It's a good question. In Christianity, my view is we have a moral duty depending on the office in life. So, for example, I feel I have the moral duty, I think I've said before, when my children were literal children, to feed them. They couldn't go out and hunt and get their own farm. So, in that sense, it's my job as dad, and of course, Elaine too, to do that. But as they grow, like right now, they're on the bus to Kentucky. I'm not going to go feed them. I didn't even pack for them. They have a list, and I hope you got it. Elaine's like, did you make sure? Nope, they can read. And what if they don't have it? They won't have it. Consequences. Well, I don't have the moral responsibility to pack their bag. So as they grow up, things change. Even in the office of parent, my moral duties change. They need to learn consequences. So if someone at church, and this happens in my line of work, right? Someone might call and say, so-and-so's at the hospital right now, and they're blah, blah. I didn't know that. Or maybe they're in 3 hours away and I can't get there in time. It's not my moral responsibility to make sure they don't go hurt themselves. I'll do my best to encourage, call, I'll go visit if I can. But especially when it comes to hurting themselves, it's a sad fundamental rule, fundamental, that people will do it if they want to do it. But what if they're sick? I can't call someone not to be sick. I don't have that gift of healing. I don't think any one person's ever been healed by it. I'll pray for them. I will. So I'll do everything I can. But I know what my office is. I know what I can and cannot do and for what I'm responsible. If you're near me on the road and there's a flat tire and you're new to traffic, I'm going to do everything I can to stop you because I can do what I can in the moment. It just depends on where I'm at in the office. Not office literal, but I mean where I'm at. Does that make sense? So we can feel responsible and just be mistaken. That's very common when people have boundary problems. They think everyone else's problems, they're about to get evicted or they don't have enough food. They're like, I just feel so awful. Why do you feel awful? I feel empathy for you, but I didn't make those choices. I didn't cause you to get drunk, smoke the drugs, do that. I didn't cause you to do that. The life choices that got you to this point, I'm not responsible for them. I wasn't there. You've never asked my opinion. And my line of work happens all the time. I need it right now. I need help. Okay, but do the bills happen every month or is this a rare occasion? Did you know it was coming? Right? Of course you did. You're an addict. You wasted all this money on other stuff besides this one thing. And so I'm saying you knew. Well, I'm not morally responsible for what they did. I can go on and on an example that I don't feel responsible. I feel empathetic. I do because I'm not a mean person. I'm so sorry you're in this mess, but I'm not responsible for it. I don't feel guilty. I don't feel any shame. I don't feel any guilt for their choices. It also helps when I parent myself, and I have through the years going, if people tell me stories of whether it's illness or something, not when they're victims, it's just not their fault. It's not their fault. When they're not a victim, it helps me extra have more boundaries because I'm thinking, you don't know what I've been through in life. You have no idea what I've been through and what I've had to go through and how many hours I have spent studying and working and to get to where I'm at. You could have done the same thing. And so I hear that, my boundaries that helps me go back, look at my own life. But if they're a victim, then the issue is, am I close enough? Can I do something about it? If I can't, I can't. I'm more responsible. I'm not. So maybe if you weren't rescued as a child, you might rescue everybody. Yes. Yep. Yes, I do. So the child wants to act out in ways that he or she didn't get as a child. That's very common. It's like it, but see, to me, it's a sweet thing. It's like the wounded child saying, I was really hurt by mom when I was a kid, and then I think you might be hurt, so watch out, watch out, watch out. It's the child telling a child telling another child, be careful, I'm trying to save you, I'm trying to help you. Or I really wish someone hugged me all the time, so I'm going to smother you with hugs. They're like, thanks, I don't need that. No, you do. No, I don't. You did, apparently. But that's a sweet thing to me. They're trying to live out. It's a wounded issue. Yes, ma'am. Gotcha. So what about the things where you're an enabler? So you enable a child maybe to do certain things to help the grandchildren, but in essence, it enables the child or something like that. So my view is safety first. That is my view. And I've told you before, safety first. They'll say, well, if you take, for example, I don't know that situation. If you take the child to the home, yeah, but the mom's a heroin addict. If you do this, it's going to give her more free time to heroin. Yeah, but those kids come first. Because in the Christian worldview, in my view, based on what Paul says in 1 Thessalonians and in Galatians, we go to the victims first. Victims first, then everybody else. They have to be victims, not pretend to be victims. We think they're victims. They have to be victims. And a Christian responsibility is to help them first, get them out of harm's way. I think that very much. You said, David, what about addicts? Addicts are victims. They are kind of. Addicts are kind of victims. That's true. But there's enough rationality when they're even an addict in the moments of cogency that they can make other choices. Children cannot make other choices. They're a pure victim, and they need to be rescued first. That's my view. So in that sense, I would say, did it enable the other person maybe a little bit? I'd still say I'd sleep fine at night. But those grandkids are safe. They come, yeah, that's my view. I'm saying enabling is okay in that situation when the grandkids are at risk, yes. And technically speaking, I might not even call that enabling the parents is an inadvertent enabling. Enabling typically is an active thing. It's when a person acts as a nurturing parent to try to rescue the person from suffering a negative consequence. It just breaks my heart that they have to sleep and vomit. So I'm going to clean it up for them when they get drunk. That's an enabler. They don't. I know they're just so hungry though. They're 800 pounds. I know, but have you heard him? He just seems so hungry. That's enabling. That's enabling. So rescuing grandchildren isn't telling the parents, your children, it's not telling them, I like what you're doing, or I feel so bad for what you're going. No, grandkids come first. If it helps you in some way, that's in the illness or the dick, whatever it is, that's unfortunate. That's not my goal. That's not, to me, that's not the same as enabling. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. Yeah, I wouldn't feel guilty at all about that. I wouldn't. Yeah, so someone you know is the opposite. She doesn't want to be hugged. I know, but since we're on film, I'm not saying everything. Yeah, as it were. So they don't want to be hugged. That's right. Yep. And there are people I know, especially in ministry for a long. I mean, yeah, a lot of people they've been abused, they've been molested, they've been hurt, or they're not very physical touch people. And so yeah, I don't ever want to force myself upon them. Sometimes just as innocent things as hugs can trigger them badly, and I don't want that to happen. So even people don't want to be, they don't have to be. My daughter, she's not physical touch. All of her life, she's not much. She's just like, that's kind of like me though. I like it, but I don't need it. So like, yeah, okay, hey, but I'm not looking for hugs in all the right places. So, but Joey's the same way. So I don't want to force upon her, come here, baby. I need a hug. I need a hug. No, no, I don't. She has a body and it's her body. Yeah, but if she wants daddy, can I have a hug? Of course, whatever. Boom. And every once in a while, I say, Joe, can I have a hug? Every once in a while. I'll ask her, and she'll grant it. But if she said no, I'd say, okay. And I throw something at her. Get over, she doesn't have to get over it. It's one thing with people who are not very physically, they don't like a lot of physical affection. Like, that's a normal thing for people to say, I'm not very touchy-feely. That's one thing. I think my daughter's that way. It's normal. Then there's something different, which is, I do not like it. And I do not like it. I wouldn't say get over. I'd say you probably need some counseling. I've known people who go, if you walk near them, they just do I right away almost certainly know you've been abused. So I'm empathetic to that. Like, it breaks my heart. And I've told some of them, I really hope do you know why you do that? No, I would encourage you to talk to maybe a counselor because that can be a sign of some serious trauma from childhood. It can be. So I would look at that. But they don't have to. They spend the rest of their life not touching anybody. More power to them. That's their life, right? It's not my life. But if I heard that and they were that, then I have encouraged them. I would just encourage you to explore that more. If it's up to you, obviously it's up to you, but whatever. Again, I'm not responsible for them getting healed and better. I'm not. God did not put me on this planet to make sure everyone. I can't make that happen. I can encourage, but I can't make them better. They can't make me better. I wish they could, but they can encourage me. Well, that's good. Thank you, God, very much again for the opportunity to learn more about who you are and how you've made us. So help us, Lord Jesus, as we move forward every day, every hour. Keep asking you to reveal more of us to ourselves and point out, as you do in your grace and your gentleness, and your gentleness, that there are areas we can grow up in and we can learn to be healed. So do that, please, through us. Please help us heal. Please help us as well do that for other people. Be a safe, supporting, wonderful place for other people not to be okay all the time. And that they feel the love and support that would help them heal and those healthy relationships. We love you. Thank you for loving us, Jesus. Amen.